So, Elon's Twitter, that is the topic of tonight. I'm going to cover most of the show. Most of the show is going to be covered talking about Twitter and Elon's acquisition of it, what it means going forward, what information has come out in the last 48 hours that are essentially game changers to what's been going on here, and on how I feel about it, how you guys feel about it, and what can we expect and anticipate going forward as essentially a component of the American cultural landscape takes a curious turn, right? Some people are very outraged by this. Some people are very titillated. How about that for an adjective, right? By all the developments here. So BBC is reporting Elon Musk says $8 monthly fee for Twitter blue tick. Elon Musk said Twitter will charge $8 a month for Twitter users who want to be a part of have a blue tick by their name indicating a verified account. As part of changes after Elon's takeover of Twitter, Mr. Musk said it was essential to beat the spam and scams. A blue tick mark next to a username, normally for high-profile figures, is currently free. The move can make it harder to identify reliable sources, say critics. Mr. Musk, richest man in the world, added that paid users would have priority in replies and searches, half as many advertisements. Power to the people. Blue for $8 a month, the billionaire said on Twitter, criticizing the old method of blue tick verification as lords and a peasant system. Twitter's former method of verifying users for a blue tick included a short online application form reserved for those whose identities were targets for impersonations, such as celebrities, politicians, and journalists. The company introduced the system in 2009 after it faced a lawsuit accusing it of not doing enough to prevent imposter accounts. But Mr. Musk is facing a hefty challenge as he works to overhaul Twitter's business, which has not posted a profit in years. He says he wants to reduce Twitter's reliance on advertising, even as some companies have grown concerned about advertising on the site under his leadership. And it goes on and it goes on. So I have mixed feelings about this one, to be honest. I can't imagine that Elon hasn't thought of the things that I'm about to talk about. And I'm hoping and assuming that he does have a plan, right? So I do think this is a very interesting proposal. I think it can be a tremendous revenue generator for the site, which he needs to have to start to start making some of that 44 billion back, right? My concern is, and I'm not even like huge, but I have about about 13,000 followers on my newer profile, and even at 13,000 profiles, I have impersonator profiles that are created all the time. And the problem is these impersonator profiles are always trying to scam good folks like you by tricking them into by convincing folks like you that it's me, so that you give them money for investments that you never see back. And I already have a big problem already trying to correct this all the time. And it has been a real issue. I think as it stands right now, I think there's 3 or 4 fake Steele profiles out there. So be careful in case you come across one of these profiles and you're wondering, and this doesn't just apply to me, but it applies to anyone else. If you're wondering, that has a larger following, if you're wondering if it's the right profile or not, the way you can quickly tell is look at the spelling of the name in the handle, in the Twitter handle. And usually there's one minor misspelling. Which you can tell. Like my Twitter is simply Mr. Steven Steele, Mr. Steven Steele. And all my impersonator profiles have like an extra E or an extra N or a missing E, something like that. That's pretty much, without me having a blue check, that's how you can readily identify who's who. So with Elon's proposal, it's interesting because if anyone can buy a blue ticker for $8 a month, that means scammers and impersonators can also afford to get blue checks next to their name. So if all of those people, if my impersonators are suddenly getting blue checks next to their name, and then we're all verified, now it will give an impression of assumed authenticity for people that frankly don't deserve it and are trying to scam people. I think, and I was just talking about this on David G's Twitter space before I came on here. That's why I was running a couple minutes late, so my apologies for that. If this could get to Elon, I think the perfect proposal would be to require a government ID verification to get the blue check. So that would take a lot of this out of the equation. I think this would solve a lot of the problems, because if you require if you require a government issued ID to get that verification, well, obviously scammers and impersonators are not going to be able to come up with that, right? Or have a very difficult time doing so. So that being said, I think obviously that information, those government IDs, should be top secret as far as privacy between Twitter as a company and the individual. Also, I think there should be two different tiers of check marks. I think celebrities and athletes and musical artists, etc., actors, authors, I think that tier of check marks should stay there. And perhaps they should also pay an $8 a month fee as well. I don't know. I haven't decided on that. That could have a bearish effect on and cause people to leave, but I don't think so. I don't think the exodus would be quite as big as some are proposing it might be. And then have a second tier of checkmark that anyone can access for $8 a month that would essentially authenticate you as your real self, number one, and number two, give you extra features that Elon has briefly talked about. So it would essentially be like having a Twitter Blue membership plus new extra features on top of that. So I wish there was some way I could get these proposed ideas to Elon, because I do think the combination of things that I'm talking about would safely take care of all these things while still generating a lot of extra revenue and also kind of democratizing the playing field for fuller check marks.